Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Listen, I want to start a bit of a new series. There are so many palettes and collections and releases of makeup recently. Listen, I'm down for new collections, new releases, everything like that, but there are some that's like, you shouldn't have bothered. This is actually kind of boring and a lot of people aren't into it. So what I want to do is a new series. I don't know what to call it yet. So I'm like, we can fix that or we can change that, where we take really kind of like boring releases that could have been something amazing. You know, I always complain about the Mac and the Sims one, kind of like that. And make them into something a little bit more entertaining and what it could have been. It's all personal opinion based on maybe what I would have done and feedback that other people have given also. So today we are going to take a look at the Urban Decay and She-Hulk collection. Just before we get into that, say if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Robert. I'm a professional makeup artist here on YouTube, also in real life, and it's my goal to help you become a pro yourself. Or just someone who, I forgot, or just someone who's really good at makeup. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then do please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, let's take a look. So this is the Urban Decay and She-Hulk with Disney Plus. So I first saw this on a page on Instagram. Do I need to sit up? Am I just, yeah, I'm just slouching. On a page called Trendstopia that I follow on Instagram, and they always have like, they always show like the latest releases, everything like that. And I put on my Instagram story, I reposted the comment, the post, and I was like, oh, and people were like, yeah, it looks great, or people were like, oh yeah, it's really boring, and I had to confirm. I was like, oh, that's a bad like it looks boring. Okay, so here's why to me, in my opinion, it looks slightly boring. It's because if you take away most of the fun colors, it's a neutral palette. It's very Revolution-esque in terms of the way they've set it up. A few colors are She-Hulk adjacent, and then kept it super neutral the rest of the time. And I get it kind of has to be wearable, right? But at the same time, this is a limited edition collection with a studio, a brand, a character, you know? Like if it's your own palette, then fine, do what you need to do, or not fine, but do what you need to do. But when it's like with you're kind of like opening yourself up to a whole new audience, because fans of Marvel, fans of She-Hulk will go towards this brand, you know, if they collect things to do with that particular character. So I think to have something like this is a little bit boring. And was that a face palette? I haven't seen it anywhere else except from these things. Anyway, so what I've done, I have taken the palette and added 2 more items to the collection. I have to say, on Trendstopia as well, they did their own palette, which actually looks a lot better than the Urban Decay one anyway. So what I did is I have taken 2 images from She-Hulk comics. One is a newer kind of cover art, and then the other one is an older one where she was in Fantastic Four, I believe, because she's wearing their uniform. So, and I have created a completely different palette, still with like the green. I think with the green, the main one, I haven't changed the names or anything because I'm not doing all that, but the main green called Hulk Out in the Urban Decay one is slightly, it needs to be yellower green, like more of a toxic green, because her skin tone is this yellow green, and I always call it toxic green. But it's like this really nice, like yellowy Nickelodeon slime green almost. So I have also added 2 other products to this collection. I have added a clear gloss with a tint of green, just because on like a redder lip, it kind of neutralizes the tone. Green looks great on top of red tone lipsticks, just to change it up a little bit, makes it more, it kind of does this whole like magic color neutralization on top of everything. So it's a really sheer green. I've also taken one of their like iconic products that people may buy in this limited edition product and then continue to use once they've run out, because it's a product that you'll constantly use. And I've taken one of their all-nighter setting sprays, the Ultra Matte. I couldn't actually use obviously the color they've used on the palette, so I found something similar and wrapped the product in that. Kept the top purple for green and purple. I'm just thinking from a business point of view, that's a product that people might buy limited edition, use it, like it, and go back to that brand for it. And it's a product that will be more than likely used on the daily, so it's a return product, like mascaras are for brands, or brow pencils or lipsticks are for some brands. It's that return product that will keep people coming back to your brand. Okay, so let's take a closer look at my version of the palette. So we have obviously the Hulk green in the middle. This is more of that greeny tone. I believe on the actual palette itself is like a transformative shimmer, but I was thinking of a way it might sit on top of like all skin tones as well as a product by itself, and it does have that potential to look slightly grey green, so I went with something that's a little bit more bolder in pigment and a bit more creamier in texture. I've tried to use real texture where I could, and if I couldn't find the exact colour that I wanted, I just put a flat kind of block of colour. So the first row on the left is purples, right? Not just because I like purple, but purple that you see in She-Hulk's uniforms and costumes throughout the decades, as I have taken from this cover art here all the different uniforms and costumes she has worn. Those three colours together are a look within themselves, so they can be used all together, or they can be used in conjunction with the neutrals down below. I've chosen 3 neutrals in this palette, one that's a little bit more orangey in tone, one that's more of a true brown, and then more of a lighter neutral that would almost have that kind of like neutral, not gold, but like that taupey like brown, just so there are neutrals in there. So for some people it's not too much of a risk to buy this palette, because I know some palettes with like bolder colors aren't for everyone. So what I've done on the top row here is I've added a white, just because I think that's a good staple, a matte white for a palette, and also it's in her Fantastic Four uniform. Also as well, I've used this kind of like darker green that has like a black green shift because of her hair. You can see in this picture, her hair has that really nice, and actually throughout the time periods, she's had this really nice greeny, dark green shift to her hair. So I've chosen that as like the hair color. And then I've chosen a lighter, even more yellower green, like a lime green, to go along with these shades. Again, that top 3 row can be used by itself. It can be used in conjunction with the rows underneath. It can be used with any of the neutrals as well. Green and purple is a great combination, as we can see from here. So all those purples can be used with the green. The blues underneath. So these are more tones that were taken from her Fantastic Four uniform. I think she was in Fantastic Four. She's wearing a costume. Maybe she was in it for like a day. But even from her like her lawyer suit, things like that. So we have a deeper, more navy blue, which is matte, which I think would look really beautiful, which actually goes with everything. I love a deep navy blue because you can just put a shimmer on top and it'll look good. You can just use it by itself and it looks good. You can add a bit of black, you can add a bit of white, and it, you know, you can go either way with that. Now the lighter blue isn't actually taken from any part of She-Hulk in any way, but I did want something to kind of offset, to match that white and offset the darker blues, because the choice of blue isn't really in depth when it comes to her. So this is actually a really super short video, but my idea for that palette was, if we're gonna go with a heavy theme where you're reaching out to fans not only of Urban Decay, not only of makeup, fans everywhere, you know, of a different genre or something, you need to deliver. The original Urban Decay palette, that the She-Hulk one, just wasn't exciting, and I miss those days when you have palette releases. We are having so many releases recently. What makes yours different? What makes yours different? You're given a whole character, a whole universe, a whole studio. Marvel, you know, it's Marvel. It's exciting. And then you release a palette that is beige with the occasional, like, this is kind of fun, a nice purple, a nice blue, a nice-ish green, when it could be something more. I would have purchased it had it looked like the one I made. Of course, because I made it, so I like it. But that's how I would have wanted to see it. But it's just, it was a big, big disappointment. I would love to know how you would change up this collection. Is there anything else you would add? I don't think a face palette was really necessary for that collection, because you don't really think you know, blushing cheeks and all this kind of stuff for She-Hulk. Maybe like a green color changing lipstick, as boring as they are, you know what I mean? But people buy it for the novelty, and people buy it for the character. So I think they really missed out on an opportunity there. I really do. But let me know what you would have added to the collection below. Let me know if there's any other collections you want me to see do, no matter how old they are, no matter how new they are, that you thought brands kind of really failed on. I would love to see that. I would love to know your opinions there. Do consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.